quick. Bum, 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 bum. Be ready. All right. What's up, y'all? So, like 99.999999999% of y'all that have commented on the Harrison Butker speech, I've never watched the whole thing. So, what I'm going to do now is watch it and react to it. Before I start, excuse me, before I start, I am a straight white male that was brought up Catholic, that doesn't really believe in religion anymore. But I am smart enough to understand that Harrison is a practicing Catholic that gave this speech at a Catholic college. Okay? Y'all get that? Alright. And my pronouns are shut the fuck up. I just told you I'm a male. That'll tell you what my pronouns are. Alright, so let's start. Cheers to Sunday Fun Day. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2024, I would like to start off by congratulating...
Oh my God. He said, ladies and gentlemen. What about non-binary? I am pissed already.
All of you for successfully making it to this achievement today. I'm sure your high school graduation was not what you had imagined. And
oh my God. What about people that didn't graduate high school?
Likely, neither was your first couple years of college. By making it to this moment through all the adversity thrown your way from COVID, I hope you learned the important...
Oh my God. He brought up COVID. Not even a minute in, and I already think he needs to be fired.
That suffering in this life is only temporary. As a group, you witnessed firsthand how bad leaders who don't stay in their lane can have a negative impact on society. It is
bad leaders. He must be talking about Joe Biden. Oh, white supremacist.
Through this lens that I want to take stock of how we got to where we are and where we want to go as citizens and, yes, as Catholics. One last thing before I begin.
Oh my God. Catholics? What about Buddhists? What about L. Ron Hubbard? Scientologists? Oh, God.
I want to be sure to thank President Minnis and the board for their invitation to speak. When President Minnis first reached out a couple of months ago, I had originally...
Minnis? President Minnis? What about President Womanist?
Said no. You see, last year I gave the commencement address at my alma mater, Georgia Tech, and I felt that one graduation speech was more than enough, especially for someone who isn't a professional speaker. But of course, President Minnis used his gift of persuasion and spoke to the many challenges you all faced throughout the COVID fiasco and how you missed out on so many milestones.
He brought up COVID again.
Older people have taken for granted. While COVID might have played a large role throughout your formative years, it is not unique. Bad policies and poor leadership have negatively impacted major life issues. Things like abortion, IVF, surrogacy, euthanasia, as well as a growing support for degenerate cultural values in media, all stem from the pervasiveness of disorder. Our own nation is led by a man who publicly and proudly proclaims his Catholic faith, but at the same time is delusional enough to make the sign of the cross during a pro-abortion rally. He has been so vocal in his support for the murder of innocent babies that I'm sure to many people, it appears that you can be both Catholic and pro-choice.
I believe in a woman's right to choose. And this still doesn't offend me because I'm not a huge vagina.
He is not alone. From the man behind the COVID lockdowns to the people pushing dangerous gender ideologies onto the youth of America, they all have a glaring thing in common. They are Catholic. This is an important reminder that being Catholic alone doesn't cut it. These are the sorts of things we are told in polite society to not bring up. You know, the difficult and unpleasant things. But if we are going to be men and women for this time in history, we need to stop pretending that the Church of Nice is a winning proposition. We must always speak and act in charity, but never mistake charity for cowardice. It is safe to say that over the past few years, I've gained quite the reputation for speaking my mind. I never envisioned.
I believe the Catholic Church is the last people that should be criticizing anybody, with all the priests that have been caught with little boys. But still not offended. He's just speaking like the Catholic he is. He's not hurting anybody. Words don't hurt.
Myself nor wanted to have this sort of a platform, but God has given it to me, so I have no other choice but to embrace it and preach more hard truths about accepting your lane and staying in it. As members of the church founded by Jesus Christ, it is our duty and ultimately privilege to be authentically and unapologetically Catholic. Don't be mistaken, even within the church, people in polite Catholic circles will try to persuade you to remain silent. There even was
As long as you're not silent when it comes to pedophilia.
award-winning film called Silence, made by a fellow Catholic, wherein one of the main characters, a Jesuit priest, abandoned the church and as an apostate, when he died is seen grasping a crucifix, quiet and unknown to anyone but God. As a friend of Benedictine College, His Excellency Bishop Robert Barron said in his review of the film,
All right, let's.
their flocks. But none of us can blame ignorance anymore and just blindly proclaim that that's what Father said. Because sadly, many priests we are looking to for leadership are the same ones who prioritize their hobbies or even photos with their dogs and matching outfits for the parish directory. It's easy for us laymen and women to think that in order for us to be holy, that we must be active in our parish and try to fix it. Yes, we absolutely should be involved in supporting our parishes, but we cannot be the source for our parish priests to lean on to help with their problems. Just as we look at the relationship between a father and his son, so too should we look at the relationship between a priest and his people. It would not be appropriate for me to always be looking to my son for help when it is my job as his father to lead him. St. Jose Maria Escriva states that priests are ordained to serve and should not yield to temptation to imitate lay people, but to be priests through and through. Tragically, so many priests revolve much of their happiness from the adulation they receive.
I just said, talking about the priests. And now he's talking about it. You know, I doubt he brings up pedophilia, but what he's saying is
From their
pretty much the same
parishioners.
thing.
And in searching for this, they let their guard down and become overly familiar. This undue familiarity will prove to be problematic every time because, as my teammate's girlfriend says, familiarity breeds contempt. St. Jose Maria continues that some want to see the priest as just another man. That is not so. They want to find in the priest those virtues proper to every Christian and indeed every honorable man: understanding, justice, a life of work, quality, and danger. But in each of those examples, church leaders leaned into their vocations and ensured that their people received the sacraments. Great saints like St. Damien of Malachi, who knew the dangers of his ministry, stayed for 11 years as a spiritual leader to the leper colonies of Hawaii.
And no matter what you think about religion, Catholic, Christian, Muslim, whatever, excuse me, your leaders shouldn't be the ones being diversive, or you should. You're supposed to spread peace. That's what most religions about. And I think that's what he's trying to say here. And like I said, even though I don't personally believe, I don't know. I don't know what I believe. I don't know if I believe in religion. But even though I might not, I still, what he's saying is right. And doesn't hurt my feelings.
His heroism
Because once again, I'm not a huge vagina.
is looked at today as something set apart and unique, when ideally it should not be unique at all. For as a father loves his child, so a shepherd should love his spiritual children too. That goes even more so for our bishops, these men who are present day apostles. Our bishops once had adoring crowds of people kissing their rings and taking in their every word, but now relegate themselves to a position of inconsequential existence. Now, when a bishop of a diocese or the bishops' conference as a whole puts out an important document on this matter or that, nobody even takes a moment to read it, let alone follow it. No. Today, our shepherds are far more concerned with keeping the doors open to the chancery than they are with saying the difficult stuff out loud. It seems that the only time you hear from your bishops is when it's time for the annual appeal, whereas we need our bishops to be vocal about the
Like, honestly, I don't think if you're not a Catholic, this shouldn't bother you at all. Nothing he said so far has been controversial. Nothing he said has been inconclusive. Um, nothing he says makes me as a I guess non-Catholic now, or non-believer, whatever you want to say. Nothing has offended me so far.
teachings of the church, setting aside their own personal comfort and embracing their cross. Our bishops are not politicians, but shepherds. So instead of fitting in the world by going along to get along, they too need to stay in their lane and lead. I say all of this not from a place of anger, as we get the leaders we deserve. But this does make me reflect on staying in my lane and focusing on my own vocation and how I can be a better father and husband and live in the world, but not be of it. Focusing on my vocation while praying and fasting for these men will do more for the church than me complaining about her leaders. Because there seems to be so much confusion coming from our leaders, there needs to be concrete examples.
Hold on. Your farts are offensive, bro. You're right. They were today, too. Today and yesterday. I ate a lot of cabbage last week. But anyway, let's get back to this speech.
For people to look to in places like
Y'all listen, I'm gonna fix a drink.
a little Kansas college built high on a bluff
It's Sunday fun day.
River, are showing the world how an ordered, Christ-centered existence is the recipe for success. You need to look no further than the examples all around this campus, where over the past 20 years, enrollment has doubled. Construction and revitalization are a constant part of life, and people, the students, the faculty and staff, are thriving. This didn't happen by chance. In a deliberate movement to embrace traditional Catholic values, Benedictine has gone from just another liberal arts school with nothing to set it apart to a thriving beacon of light and a reminder to us all that when you embrace tradition, success, worldly and spiritual, will follow. I am certain the reporters at the AP could not have imagined that their attempt to rebuke and embarrass places and people like those here at Benedictine wouldn't be met with anger, but instead met with excitement and pride. Not the deadly sin sort of pride that has an entire month dedicated to it, but the God-centered pride that is cooperating with the Holy Ghost to glorify Him. Read.
But you don't. So yeah, nothing. I don't get it. I don't get it so far. I don't get it at all. His dude is a practicing Catholic speaking at a Catholic college talking Catholic shit. If you're not Catholic, why the fuck does it matter to you? You just looking to be offended. Meanwhile, Tyreek Hill is on his fifth baby from 5 different women this year. Or whatever it is, 4 or 5. And people defend him. Oh, he got the money to take care of them. Huh? The Puffy Diddy Daddy video of him beating the shit out of his girlfriend just came out 2 days ago. Nobody posting about that. Why is it just, it was like from 8 years ago. Why is it just coming out? Nobody's talking about that. That's all good. That's all gravy. But Harrison Butker said words that offended people. God, America's dumb.
An article now shared all over the
Let's
world.
go. I'm just trying to get to the part where he's talking about.
Self, an attorney.
I'm just trying to get to the part where he's talking about bitches staying in the kitchen. Because from reading some posts on social media, that's kind of what he said. So I'm trying to get to that part. Let's see.
Towards Christ, you will find happiness. Right here in a little town in Kansas, we find many inspiring lay people using their talents. President Minnis, Dr. Swafford, and Dr. Zimmer.
There he goes, Minnis again. What about Womenis? Can't take this.
Are a few great examples right here on this very campus that will keep the light of Christ burning bright for generations to come. Being locked in with your vocation and staying in your lane is going to be the surest way for you to find true happiness and peace in this life. It is essential that we focus on our own state in life, whether that be as a layperson, a priest, or religious.
That's for you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2024, you are sitting at the edge of the rest of your lives. Each of you has the potential to leave a legacy that transcends yourselves and this era of human existence. In the small ways, by living out your vocation, you will ensure that God's church continues and the world is enlightened by your example. For the ladies present today, congratulations on an amazing accomplishment. You should be proud of all that you have achieved to this point in your young lives.
Here we go.
I want to speak directly to you briefly because I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now about to cross this stage and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world.
Oh my God. How dare he say something so offensive? He wants bitches in the kitchen.
Tell you that my beautiful wife Isabel would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation. I'm beyond blessed with the many talents God has given me, but it cannot.
He is praising the fuck out of women, and women are mad. God, y'all stupid.
That all of my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class back in middle school would convert to the faith, become my wife, and embrace one of the most important titles of all.
Tearing up,
homemaker,
thinking about his wife. But y'all bitches are mad at him and gonna go listen to WAP and then post on social media how y'all like being choked and why y'all can't find a good man. It's only fuck boys. God, y'all stupid.
She's a primary educator to our children. She's the one who ensures I never let football or my business become a distraction from that of a husband and father. She's the person that knows me best at my core, and it is through our marriage that, Lord willing, we will both attain salvation. I say all of this to you because I have seen it firsthand, how much happier someone...
This dude is choking up talking about his wife and kids. And women are mad. Women and ladyboys. Can I say that? Women are mad. Oh, women that are probably in very unhappy marriages. Their wives, their husband is cheating on them. Their husband rather works 80 hours a week than be home. And they're mad at this dude because he loves his wife and kids. And go buy some Benoit's Performance Beats.
...be when they disregard the outside noise and move closer and closer to God's will in their life. Isabel's dream of having a career might not have come true, but if you asked her today if she has any regrets on her decision, she would laugh out loud without hesitation and say, heck no. As a man...
And he's talking about his wife. Not every fucking woman in the world. Not all you green, blue, and rainbow-haired chicks that are mad at this. He's talking about his wife and how their marriage is, how happy they are. And y'all dummies are mad.
Gets a lot of praise and has been given a platform to speak to audiences like this one today. I pray that I always use my voice for God and not for myself. Everything I am saying to you is not from a place of wisdom, but rather a place of experience. I am hopeful that these words will be seen as those from a man not much older than you, who feels it is imperative that this class, this generation, and this time in our society must stop pretending that the things we see around us are normal. Heterodox ideas abound even within Catholic circles, for let's be honest, there is nothing good about playing God with having children, whether that be your ideal number or the perfect time to conceive. No matter how you spin it, there is nothing natural about Catholic birth control. It is only in the past few years that I have grown in courage to speak more boldly and directly, because as I'm...
Birth control. We don't use birth control. We find old chicks without uteruses.
Earlier, I have leaned into my vocation as a husband and father, and as a man. To the gentleman here today, part of what plagues our society is this lie that has been told to you that men are not necessary in the home or in our communities. As men, we set the tone of the culture, and when that is absent, disorder, dysfunction, and chaos set in. This absence of men in the home is what plays a large role in the violence we see all around the nation.
Oh my God, this is toxic masculinity. Oh, bruh. Bring back real men.
Countries do not have nearly the same absentee father rates as we find here in the U.S., and a correlation could be made in their drastically lower violence rates as well. Be unapologetic in your masculinity, fighting against the cultural emasculation of men. Do hard things. Never settle for what is easy. You might have a talent that you don't necessarily enjoy, but if it glorifies God, maybe you should lean into that over something that you might think suits you better. I speak from experience as an introvert who now finds myself as an amateur public speaker and an entrepreneur, something I never thought I'd be when I received my industrial engineering degree. The road ahead is bright. Things are changing, society is shifting, and people young and old are embracing tradition. Not only has it been my vocation that has helped me and those closest to me, but not surprising to many of you, should be my outspoken embrace of the traditional Latin Mass. I've been very vocal in my love and devotion to the TLM and its necessity for our lives. But what I think gets misunderstood...
Like, I really don't get what everybody's so upset about. Like, I don't even follow the Catholic religion anymore. But imagine thinking good values, loving your wife and kids. Like, imagine thinking that is wrong. God, we're so fucked up in this country now.
People who
Very
attend the
vaccinated.
TLM do so out of pride or preference. I can speak to my own experience, but for most people I have come across within these communities, this simply is not true. I do not attend the TLM because I think I am better than others, or for the smells and bells, or even for the love of Latin. I attend the
Smells.
TLM because I believe,
Y'all want
just
some
as the God of the
smells?
Old Testament was pretty particular in how he wanted to be worshipped, the same.
Alright. So he's basically
But I believe
just talking more and more about his Catholic values, which doesn't fucking bother me at all. Even though I don't believe most of it. I don't know. I'm about to go listen to some WAP and you know. Oh fuck, I can't take people anymore.
this audience and this venue is the best place to
Let's
speak
listen to
openly
this
and
shit.
honestly about who we are and where we all want to go, which is heaven. I thank God for Benedictine College and for the example it provides to the world. I thank God for men like President Minnis who are doing their part for the kingdom. Come to find out, you can have an authentically Catholic college and a thriving football program.
Wait, I thought everybody hated it. Why are they clapping?
Make no mistake, you are entering into mission territory in a post-God world, but you were made for this, and with God by your side and a constant striving for virtue within your vocation, you too can be a saint. Christ is King to the heights.
Oh, wait. I don't think I just saw what I think I just saw. Everybody there stood up and clapped after he ended his speech. Men and women. Like they're all standing up clapping. I thought he degraded women. What? Alright, so unlike most people that are commenting about this speech, I just watched it. Most of it. I kind of skipped over, fast forward a little bit. But, like I said, this dude is a practicing Catholic. He was speaking at a Catholic college graduation. He was talking about Catholic values. He did not say that bitches belong in the kitchen. He said he was talking about his life, his wife, his kids. How his wife is happy where she's at. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Listen to the whole speech before you judge it. Judge it not as somebody who has different religious, political, or whatever values as him. Because, like I said, I am not religious. I'm a Saints fan. Kickers, like, you're a kicker, dude. You're basically, you're not involved in practices hardly, except the last 10 minutes. You might be in 4 plays of the whole game. Like, nobody cares about kickers. Not even football players. But that's a joke. He just like everybody else is promoting his values, and to think that somebody loving his wife and his kids and to think that this is wrong just shows how fucked up our society has gotten. I'm gonna just be honest. I'm gonna just be honest. Like, this is wrong. WAP is good. That's why I stay home and drink and smoke weed. Cause y'all fuckers crazy. Sticks and stones. This will not affect your life any. Whether you believe, whether you agree with him or not. This doesn't affect your life any. N-E. Y'all just want to cry and bitch about everything. Fuck it. I'm going to find something to cry and bitch about. I'm really not. Because, like I've said numerous times before in this video, I'm not a huge vagina. I don't think chicks belong in the kitchen. But I wish I had one here now to fix me something to eat because I'm kind of hungry. Latras.